Hello, everyone. This is Megazip, and welcome back to Satisfactory. So we are over at my steel factory that I built initially. Until I'm kind of in the middle of this area here. We're a little ways away from the space elevator. Just down over there is where our power comes from. Way down that way, or I should say maybe more like down that way. And I built this kind of initial platform and kind of did this little makeshift steel thing so we can kind of get some basic parts made. I don't have any lights, so I'll have to use my flashlight here, but so I have beams going in here currently, and then I have pipes going in here currently. So with this particular build, if you will, I had it like a makeshift staircase, and I've got the coal up there, and we have an iron node here. So they're both pure nodes, but they're not set up to use it that way. They're actually, well, we're running with Mark 1 miners, 120. We're going to scale this up today, along with changing the configuration up there. All that is going to sort of change. Yeah. So we're going to kind of change a few things. I think that this part we're probably going to leave, other than the fact that we're going to update this all to the Mark 3 miner. So, and we have more than enough beams, so that shouldn't be an issue. But we're going to need a few more miners. Let me see. At least need at least 2 more here. Alright, so to upgrade to the Mark II miner, ignoring the portable miners, steel pipes we have up there, I need 20 modular frames, so I believe I have enough material to make those. I didn't really think about it until just now. There it is, for my little vehicle here. I have these, but they're reserved, so I have to make new ones. Those are for dimensional depots. So let me just make 20 of these real quick. And this, like I said, the steel pipes will get upstairs, and I'll go ahead and just update the line part to support the increased in all that. And then we'll sort of talk out and while I'm kind of changing some stuff for this particular build, because we're going to be making the encased industrial beams while we're here. So we do have access to a in fact, it's over here where, oh, there it is. So we have access to this right here for the encased industrial beams. It is a pure also, so we're gonna need, well, I don't know if we're gonna need a Mark 1 or a Mark 2 miner for that, so let's just sort of look here. Let's see. Nope. If we look at what it takes to make them, it takes 6 concrete as opposed to just the limestone. So it takes 6 concrete and 3 steel beams to make the encased industrial beam. And right now that is the only variation I can make. I'm gonna check. I'll put a MAM up over here, so I do have some hard drives that I have ran through. I might be able to pick a different option. We'll look into that too. In fact, I have everything I need to do that, right? Yep. I don't really have a a very good spot down here, but let me just plop it over here. There we go. Good as place as any, right? Yeah. So let's see. I did, like I said, I found a few extra hard drives this week while I was working on trying to get these phase 2 parts. You can see we're still manufacturing phase 2 parts. It does take a while. But I do have a few things to look at. We have this one here, encased industrial pipes. So this uses pipes instead of beams. Now, I've been told, at least from videos that I've seen, that this is actually a better one. So instead of 3 beams, I use 6 pipes. Now it takes pipes is, I believe, less material to make. So if we look at how pipes are made and we compare those, so if we compare beams, it takes 4 ingots to make a beam. It only takes 3 to make a pipe, and 3 of them makes 2 pipes, whereas 4 of them takes 1 beam. So yeah, technically it is a cheaper recipe. And we already are kind of set up, we can easily set it up with the pipes up there. So I think that could be a valuable one. So there is that recipe that we could do there, because that will allow us to make 4 per minute production rate, and the original is 6, but I think it's the difference of cost of material. Now, before we decide on that, there are things that we use pipes to make, so outside of that. So if we look at things like, let me see here. Stators are made with pipes and wire. Motor, well, no. Okay. Just seeing if there was anything else, at least in our current ability, that also uses it. So yeah, I suppose in the same factory that you would make, stators, we could make, those pipes. So not bad. I mean, I don't know how many. I'd have to go into the wiki to see how many things are made out of the beams, out of steel beams. But yeah, I think it'd be a cheaper recipe for sure. So, anybody have any thoughts on that? On as far as using encased industrial pipes as an alternate recipe? So it takes 6 pipes and 5 concrete for 1. And this uses 3 beams and 6 concrete to make 1. So I think we could use this. Why not? Okay. So we have that. I don't think there's really anything else that we'd want to make over here. I mean, they have this stator one here, which is made with quick wire. I don't think that's a good one. Cast screws is one I always wanted to have, because, screws are used to make a lot of things, but then there are alternate recipes where you can eliminate the need for screws, which is probably the pathway I'm going to end up going. I do have access to steel screws right off the bat, steel beams to make screws, and it makes a lot. So I'm holding on to this because I could use it. We have other things in here. Basic iron ingot, I don't need that. I'm waiting for the pure recipe to come out. And this one's using Caterium to make wire, which is why would I ever? This is Caterium's more rare than copper is, so that's not a very good use. But I think we'll be okay for now on that note. Do we have another? Do we have a bean over here? Seems like everywhere I go, these damn beans are walking around. I don't know. Anyway, we have the miners. I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and make. Let's just go ahead and make one more, since we're gonna be putting it on the limestone. We'll need a few more modular frames, so let's go ahead and make 10 more. I do have modular frames being made at the other factory that's working with stuff, so I may end up utilizing that at some point. Alright, so I need 2 more miners. I don't think yeah, I'm pretty sure I can upgrade those without having to create the extra miners, but we'll see. We'll start with the iron one first, just to see if I need to make any more. Alright, so let's go ahead and update this one. Oh yeah, I gotta go get the pipes, my bad. Let me go get the pipes real quick. Actually, before I have this turned off, right? Yep. Because I don't want it making anything, so. All right. Because what we're gonna do is I'm gonna allow that thing to finish building out without pulling from the system here. All right. And now we'll go up here and do the same. Come on, get up there. Oh, so dangerous. This vegetation is just too tall. What am I missing? Clipping. Oh. I was using that for something. In order to make more, in order to make gunpowder or black powder, I needed some coal. So I'm going to keep all that coal for making my grenades, if you will, the obelisks. All right. Actually, I need to probably should take care of this other stuff up here first. So first, let's update this to a Mark III belt. Let's upgrade that as well. Come down here. All right. And that. Make sure I don't have too much extra stuff here. Okay, so I think that should do it for that part. Now we can go upstairs because this is where we're gonna kind of reevaluate, you know, kind of restart all of it. So what I want to do is over here. I'm going to cut this off and just let it. I'm going to let all this finish building out. So what I have is I have some containers that put all of this in. So let me empty my own inventory here. That's why I had this little box here. Apparently I need another one. There. Okay. So I'll turn this back on. I'm going to take all the pipes and store them in this container for right now. And let it finish building out the rest of the way. Same thing over here. Because I'd rather clear the system than you know, have it all stuck in my inventory. So make sure these are building out the rest of the way. So I'll let those kind of finish building out. And while they're doing that, I'm going to sort of change some stuff over here. Let's see. First of all, oh, right. I don't have the walls set up to where I can change them yet. Darn it. What I was going to do was change the walls over to concrete. Or at least that one, because that's where they're coming in at. I do, however, have these frame walls, so we're going to be, because we're going with an industrial look, I'm just going to go ahead and set that up while we're here. Hope everybody had a good week so far. So far, so good, I should say. These are also the same ones that. Let me just take what's in here right now. You know, just kind of one of those busy weeks. I was out of town yesterday, so didn't really get a lot of time to do anything. By the time I got back here, it was kind of late, so I didn't really get any builder time in. Alright. Now hopefully that will work. Now what I'm probably going to end up doing, because I will fall out, is probably putting glass in here. So but I need silica for that, and I have it in my thing, so because you can literally fall right out of this thing. So just take these out. All of these are clear now, so I'm just going to take all of this stuff out because I'm basically going to redo all of the machines configurations, so no sense in keeping any of this. I don't want to power them off until they're fully done. And I'm doing this individually so I don't accidentally delete something. I will. It always seems to happen. or I end up deleting something I didn't mean to. All right. So these are still working. So we're just going to let this stuff continue to build out. And in the meantime, I'm going to just remove the walls that don't have anything attached to them at the moment. Although those things will float, so it's not like they go anywhere. Alright. Now I am going to put the wall here too. I'm going to leave it open for the moment, but I'll probably change it here in a few minutes. Let's see, do I have any silica in here? Thought I brought some with me. I guess maybe I don't have any. So I can't put the glass in right now, but that's okay. Keep it all stored right there for right now. So all of it'll be kind of like this. So what we have is 240. Okay, nothing overclocked at the moment. And while that's kind of doing its thing, I'm going to set something over here just for a moment. Because, you know, we have... can't really show you in that. I can show you here. Because this one is basically mostly done. We have the alternate steel ingot, which means we can use ingots, iron ingots. Okay. And because of that, we can kind of get everything sort of situated. And it takes it in because we can make ingots, right? The ingots are made in a smelter and it produces 30. So each one produces 30. So it's 30 in, 30 out. No overclocking. Or I should say without doing any overclocking at all. And so because of that, I guess it did, because they put everything away, that's why. All right. So we're going to have multiple smelters now. If we go 240 divided by 30, then that means we need 8. So we'll have 8 of them making whatever. Now, with that recipe, it would be 6 if we modify them to produce 40 in, 40 out to keep the numbers even, because I believe it's 40 on the production when we use the alternate ingot. So that means we need 6, so we'll have 3 on each side. Oops. 3 on each side here, kind of spread out in such a way that everything just lines up. So we're not going to be like butting everything together. So what'll happen is I'll run a splitter off of this, and we'll have an even split of 120 going one way and 120 going the other way. And then from there we'll handle the rest of the distribution. But I want to clear everything out first before I do that. Now, I could end up putting that down here. That way I have one up top and one at the bottom. I don't know, I'll think that one through a little bit more in a minute. Right now, I just want these things to finish. So this one's done. So it no longer has... Let's see, how many of these have ingots left in them? Okay. Is that enough to even produce anything? Probably not. So we'll just put those in the trash. Alright, so we can kind of get rid of all of this now. All these. Okay. So all the power is still there. We're not taking anything out yet. This one appears to be done. So this is the one that makes beams. And you can see that it makes 15 per minute. It takes in 60 and comes out 15. Now, pipes are a 30 to 20 ratio. So there is that to look at. And we're going to still be making both for the most part. All right. So this is done. This one's done. All right. So now we're going to have a nice clean slate to work with. Take out all the power stuff. Because I'm going to rerun all the power in here, so... Alright. I'll leave that there because it's already set up. Take these out. Okay. Let's get the beams. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put this in too. Since I can technically walk through this, I can safely put that in. Alright, so let's take this out. And that one's already empty. Okay, so like I said, we kind of have a clean slate. Now, too bad I don't have the right kind of walls to facilitate things, because I think it would have been cool to be able to do that. But, you know, it's okay. Now, the real question is about the layout. I want to make sure that we get a good layout. And by that, you know, there's a few different techniques that can be used for laying out things. I know I'm going to need most of my stuff here, so let me just go down and get everything. Not anymore. Gonna organize it, see how much of this that we don't need. Gonna keep the coal for, like I said, for that stuff. But, I don't think I need that. Let me just put that away here. Let's come back and get that later. Okay. So what I might end up doing here is switching this one and having it come down here instead. Like maybe change this configuration a little bit. I think I will take this out. Let's take these out real quick. And I want to think this out a little bit better. And the reason just is it's just simple simple logistics, right? A part of me wants to run them down the center, but I know that it won't really work that way, at least not in the current configuration, but maybe we can do something about that. So let's go down and see. Because ideally, this, I think, is what I would rather have. So we have these kind of coming in parallel, right? And you know what? Let's look at, let me go back up real quick because I want this to be centered. So I think we're going to end up changing where it comes in. And let me just look for what is the dead center of this room here. So that's 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So technically, this is the center right here. So this is the center. So I think we can make that work. There. Because I want, you know, my OCD, which I have. It needs to be centered. I didn't pay attention. I don't have it severely. I have it enough to where I just know. Sometimes when I'm building quickly, I don't really think about it too much. All right, so let's do this. Let's say that one right there. And we'll this one will be kind of cut a little short. And we can actually, yeah, I think I'll just lower it directly. So let me put that back in again. Right like that. Can't see very well. Have it go in like that. this. Now, at first glance, it doesn't look like I can even get the other one to fit. Right? See how it, you can kind of get it in there, but it's not really designed to do that. So I would have to do something like this. And then I come down. So I believe I can attach to that. And then just do that. Although that is not exactly lined up, so you'll need to put something like right there, I think. So maybe there. Is that the right height? Let's see. Interesting. It feels like it's going down. It's because it's using a different mechanism here. Okay. Well, let's remove this out of the way. All right. Now we can see. Doesn't quite line up. It's closer though. And this probably still won't quite line up, but we'll see. Might be too far. It'll work. Not perfect, but it will. Almost right. That's what happens when I didn't have the right perspective. Man, it's like not quite lined up. That's too low and that's too high. So I guess we go slightly too high. There. That kind of guarantees that we start. Now, what I could do is I could do some fancy stuff later. I'm not going to do it now. But like something maybe using like big frames or something to kind of give off the impression of, you know, something looking. I'll give you a general idea here. Let's do like something like this to where it's encased, you know. But I'll do that. I'll do that outside of the stream here. Right now, I want to more focus on the other side of it here. All right, we're gonna go up. So now we have iron on the bottom and we have that on the top, which will kind of make this a little bit easier to work with. Because this is not going to probably be a factory that we're going to walk in like on the floor. What we might end up, I'll probably put catwalks and stuff in it to where we can walk around. So I'm less concerned about walkway for some of this kind of stuff. At least part of it anyway. Alright. So let's start with a splitter. No. Alright. So we can kind of go with that. Maybe right there in the center. So what happens is this will come into here. This is 240. And from here, it'll split down this way to 3 and down this way to 3. Now, I don't have this blueprinted because I don't think there's enough room in the blueprinter for this. So let me start by putting in one smelter. Kind of center it right here. Just make sure it's in a good spot because we're going to end up, we're going to be running, there's a couple of ways we can run splitters here. Probably be the easiest. So that will probably give me plenty of room. Right, so we can set that to an iron ingot and we'll come back and I've got plenty of stuff to overclock. And then from there, straight out, I want to put in a foundry. And what I want to do is you can see how it's saying, hey, I want to go straight in. So that's kind of what I want to do there. So I want this to have a nice straight shot in. Now the steel ingot says 40 iron, which means 40 coal, which means we need 6 of these along with 6 smelters. We don't have to overclock those, but we do have to overclock these. So I want 40 out. That means 40 in, 40 out. So this is sort of the thing. So we can do, let's see. We'll have a splitter here, making sure that we're pointing the right direction. So you can see we're kind of going right at it. Now I'm going to do the same thing here, but this one's not going to stay. We're going to go what do we think? 3 high? Probably 3 high. I'm going to take these 2 out. Because when this one comes in, we're going to be splitting 2 also. I could down it, but I think I'm going to go up instead. So it's going to be like that. I don't like the idea of these things floating, and so I want to see if there's something I can do about that. What I've done in the past is I've used these kind of things where I have them acting like stands. Now, problem with that is I don't know if this will need it to kind of go like, probably like that. 1, 2, 3. So that way they look connected. It's not going to have any effect on the stuff going in. It's just to make it look like it's connecting and it's not floating. That's the only reason why I did that. So we can come over here and connect that one. So it's just for distribution purposes. Although seeing this now, that's going to be interesting because that's going to go right through with the belt. So what we'll have to do there is turn it the other direction. So it would have to go this way. So we need to make sure that it is centered there. Centered there. And that should allow it to go again. So let's sort of plug these in. Right, so that one goes directly in. That one goes in there. That one goes in there. That one goes in here. Have a nice little downgrade. Not everything has to use lifts. I kind of like the idea of that sort of down travel there. Kind of like that. You can see it kind of already fed in, so to speak. That's going in just like that. So I like it. It's perfect. Okay. So now we need to run the next one. So I could keep these kind of close to each other, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. I mean, it should work. But I do, yeah, we'll keep it there. And we'll take this and we'll put it in line. Just like that. Take another one of these. Bam, it's in line there. This one, same as before. One, two, three. It's out here. This one is aligned right here. Looks good. Nice and connected. Go ahead and connect that in. You can see it goes right through just fine. That one goes through just fine. Goes through just fine. Oh. I'll hook that one up yet. That one goes through. Straight shot in there. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Thing looks nice and aligned. And then we'll put in the last one. Guess I put it in backwards. Not sure why it does that. How does it copying it make it go backwards? Come on. Come on, guys. Okay. That one's good. Same thing here. Line that up again. All right. Now we'll hook everything up. There. Now we just have to do the same thing on the other side. And we still have a decent walkway over here, which is great. These are all still set correctly. These are even set. They're just pulling right out of my things, so that's good. I like it. Nice and even. So if you like what you see and you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Subscribe, because I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you're on Twitch, well, you can hit that follow just as well. All right, so based on the center, we're kind of centered-ish on that one, so that's kind of what we're going to do here. Still don't understand how it does that. Sometimes when you copy, it just does not want to cooperate. All right. That went in. Now, this one, we're going to go the opposite direction. So instead of connecting this to the left one, we're going to connect them to the right one as we send them down. So everything's nice and in line. So based off of how we did it before, all of these should just be lined up perfectly. I need more modular frames. Wouldn't you know? All right, well, let me just do this so I don't have to go downstairs. Need more modular frames. Apparently, I'm really low on rods. Did not realize. Hopefully, I don't have to go back and get more. All right. Did it again. Come on, people. All right. Everything is still set to the alternate ingot. All right. For some reason, I knew I was going to run out of rods. Who would have thunk it? Well, good news is there's plenty of iron ore here. I can just casually make some real quick. I know it. You guys don't want to sit here and probably watch me do this, but it's kind of needed for what we're doing. So bear with me while I make some iron rods. In the meantime, Friday we're going to check out a different game. It's a demo. And it's let me get this set up to where it's producing rods, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of flip it over to Steam and I'll show you real quick. Won't always. Okay. So it's on Steam. It's called Farm Factory Simulator. Yes. Sounds intriguing. Let me show you what it looks like really quickly, and then we'll get back. This is going to be what we're going to play on Friday. So let me just give you a taste of this. So like I said, it's called Farm Factory Simulator. It is a demo right now. So those of you who know me well enough know that I like farming simulator. And so this is a little bit different. Allow me to show you if I can get this thing to stop. Come on, slow down. This is what happens when we're trying to do too many things here. All right. Come on. Why are you being so stubborn right now? This is what happens when we're trying to do too much. So usually I can show you guys a video, but it's not being very forthcoming. So let me just try to get some screenshots. So basically, it's sort of like automated farming, but kind of at a different scale. It's a cross between like Alchemy Factory and like Parcel Simulator, essentially. But just thought I would share that a little bit. We'll actually be looking at that. Like I said, we're going to be looking at that on Friday. So, we will get back to Satisfactory on Monday, and I will be in the next tier for sure. Anyway, let's get the next one made. There. And there. Alright. These will be real easy to hook up, so bam bam. And bam. Alright, so we need to split coming this direction. For some reason I'm not seeing connecting to that one. It's weird. It's not lining up. It should. Should be all right. Ah, and then I fall. This is what happens. I should have a drop-off indicator every time I fall off of a building. A drop count, if you will. Let me know if you guys think I should have a drop count. Bad habits. Bad habits. No, 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 no. I need this. All right. So there. So now I need to put the taller one in, so we can do that. So it's going to go here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And so now if I do this right, that goes there. That goes there. And this should fall right into there. Of course, this one goes into that. One, two, three. And all right. So with this one, we get this setup here. Oh, excuse me. All right. So that looks like we got it. So that there. That there. That one. Pretty hooked up. All right, so with that set up, as you can see, we have a same kind of evenness across the board here. So that kind of makes it nice and even, and it just kind of works out, which is good. So this alone gives us what we need for steel ingots. So from this we get 60 steel ingots. So here we have these three. Now just going by that alone, okay, I'm just going to put this close for a second. That already makes steel beams. So from here, we can have 45 beams a minute, basically, coming out. So I think it would be pretty good. We'd end up joining all three of them. I don't think there would be too much of a need to spread out too much, because we need to be able to make the reinforced iron or the encased industrial beams. So I think we can work with that. So there we go. So steel beams right off the bat. And all right, that's perfect. So we can have 3 sets. Where this changes is really for over here, because we want to make the encased industrial beams, but we also still have to make concrete on the same platform. So we're going to have to sort of work through that a little bit logistic wise. But if I just start off from this side, we can see that when it comes to steel ingots or the pipes, it's 30. So if I overclock this, I have to basically 200% it in order to get it to 60, which means it'll put out 40 pipes each. And that's just to keep the footprint the same as over here. So that's going to use what, 2, 4, 6 of my things here. Do I have enough? I do have enough. So I have enough power shards so I can do it. But how does that reflect the this? Now this is just temporary. And now that we can make the pipes here, one of these is 24 pipes is what's required. Now, okay, that's 24. I'll be making 40 off of just one of these just to keep these numbers even. I don't want to overclock these. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, basically we can make a lot of encased industrial beams. And if I double this, and by double, I'm actually, what I would probably do is make this go down to 20. So what would that be, like 80%? 81? No, probably 82. Okay, more like 85. One of those funky numbers was probably like 84.33 or something. No? Alright, so let's just say I do it to 3. If I do 3 per minute, then it's 18. 3.5 is 21. So, yeah, it's kind of like, I like evenish numbers, so probably just do, what, 3 per minute? Which means we need 18 steel pipes. Ugh. So really, truthfully, one of these, howdy doody. So basically one of these, because it would be overclocked to accommodate the 60 coming out, right? So it would be that. One of these alone, 40, can easily handle 2 of these. So, yeah, I try not to do too much in the way of like overclocking things unless I absolutely need to. Um, but it looks like I might only need one of these to actually do it. But I'm going to probably use the inside ones, not that one specifically, um, to do this. Now, if I do two of them, then that means I have 80 pipes. Right? So if I have 80 pipes, then I can make... Okay. Let me just think this out for a minute. If I overclock this, then I could drop that to, let's say, what is 6? 7 per minute? Yeah, it's one of those weird fraction numbers. 6.5, roughly 6.5, and that'll get me to that sort of almost 40 a minute, which basically means, right, if I leave that the way it is, then I have 40 coming out here, and it can handle one of these, so 1 to 1, and that'll give me what, 12 encased industrial beams a minute. 12, anywhere but, well, 13 per minute on the encased. 7.5 megawatts of power, so not too bad power wise. So I basically I even need 4 over here. Okay. All right. So hold on, let me put that back up because I need one thing I didn't see here. So I have to look at the concrete too, because I have a pure node over there. I do have a pure node. Doesn't mean I have to use a full on with it, but if let me put this back here. Well, we're already making 6.5. So what was the number? 11. So if I had this set at 40, oh no, at 36. Wait. I'm looking at the wrong recipe. Well, yeah, actually, let's compare that. So the steel beams, let's look at that for a second, because we don't have to use that alternate recipe here. Right? So over here we have 15 steel beams. So basically 45 per minute is what I'm making. If I'm making 45, what's the normal one is 18. So if I drop this down to basically that would probably work better if I stick with the beams over the pipes in this scenario, because I can use one of these. In fact, think about this for a second. I don't even have to make pipes over here. I can just make beams and encased industrial beams, which was one of my original thoughts, because I do have a whole other over here somewhere. I have a whole nother node to do more steel. So maybe this is just beams. All of this is beams, okay? And by doing that, I can have 3 of these running on one side to make encased industrial beams. which means I only need 90 concrete per minute, which I can use a Mark 1 miner on that pure node and pretty much just, you know, make exactly what I need in order to give me this. I think that works better. If I don't have to use overclock power shards and I can kind of make the math work, I'd rather do that. So I think that's what we're going to do. So all the pipes that I have over here will come with me. Sort of. I think I might have a plan for, well, it would only take one stack, so that's probably not going to do any good. But I'll figure out a way to get these transported. Of course, I have all these beams over here, which is good. These will get transferred over. Now, the concrete is setting over here. It's over by this corner, right? Yeah, right there. So like I said, we'll put a Mark 1 miner on that. And we can run it up through here. And I'll create the concrete over there. So let me go ahead and get all of these set up for beams. Because like I said, the math just works. So steel beams. I can't see anything. Okay, good. That lines up. That lines up. So how you been, man? How's everything going? Hopefully it's going good for you. Kind of come on the inside here. Follow that through. So what these beams are going to be basically doing, at least for the moment, is they're going to be supplying a dimensional depot for me, along with having central storage. At some point underneath, I'm going to add a I'll end up adding a truck station, and we'll probably use this as just a form of getting beams for something. Did pretty good. How about you? Busy as always. Never a dull moment. I must say. And as you can see, we have the entire center at our disposal, which is good. No, everything's good. You know, just work as busy as it usually is, and now that we're streaming on 2 platforms, kind of playing around with that a little bit. So, oh, you know, I just had a thought here. I know that's a scary thing for me to have a thought at all. We need to look at concrete for a minute. I'm gonna put a thing over here. I'll just stick it. I'll stick it right here for a second. Because we're going to be making concrete. Now, I need 90 concrete. Gotta stay nosy. I know what you meant. I only get 15 concrete a minute. And I need 90. Oof. Okay. We'll have to overclock the concrete, I think. So, yeah. If I overclock the concrete, in order to get to 30, because then I only need 3 of these, then I need 90 limestone per minute. Okay, 90 times 3, 270. So I'll be using the full node here on a Mark II miner. So there's that. So none of these are overclocked, right? I don't... Yeah. So I need 3 of these, so I need 4 more. So I should have enough power shards. Alright. So really, the determining factor here is where I'm going to put the assemblers here. Because we're going to need to be able to get to them. So, because this is outputting this way. I suppose the way we would do this is we would put them in parallel. Right? So I would probably want to run these... where is it? So I would probably want to run them in parallel like that. Now, they're not going to be this close to each other. I'm going to make it go this way. Like that, probably. So if I put it like that, then I could, these two can come in together, and then we can, you know, figure out the, oh man, this is going to be a tough logistics scenario, I think. Oh. Tough logistics scenario. Because I need to be able to have them make what they need to make. So it's kind of like this. I need these guys to kind of go like that. So looking at where these are positioned, right off the end here. That's probably good. See if they're centered-ish. About as centered-ish as it's going to get. I mean, I can move this back a little bit further, I guess. Where is that in relation to the line? So from the line, it's just a little past. So that might mean that that needs to come forward. I am all about evenness here, so that should be right where I need it, right there. And that needs to be repositioned. So we're going to do that. Right there. So this one will be a nice and easy one because it's a direct feed coming off of it. The other ones, however, are not going to be as easy because, yeah, they're just not going to fit. So we're probably going to have to put these somewhat close to each other. That leg is just a little bit over. Same direction. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a little kind of lines right up with it. This one kind of hugs the line a little bit like that. So yeah, this is a logistical nightmare right now. I have plenty of room over here, so I may have to move these over here. Which means those are probably going to have to move. Which is fine. I'll move those. So, yeah. So these are all three going to join into one of those, which I'll probably put like right here. That'll leave me with a decent amount of room, so maybe I should do that first. So we have a merger here. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Yeah, I think that'll be enough space. Here, we kind of have to take that arrow and point it that way. That. So now, these things are only making 15 a minute, but I like the idea of speed, so gonna be going with speed here. All right. So what we can do here with this one is we can create these. So usually helps if you point it the right direction. There. Now, I have a bunch of beams sitting in here right now. So, let me just move a bunch of this stuff out of the way. Take back what's mine. Swap that out. There. That way it has a little bit of an early start. Now, do I have pipes? I do. Switch that out. Okay. So this one I'll have to stay because I don't really have a spot for it. Now, I am going to get something out of my truck real quick that I need to get. Whoop. Somehow made it onto a giant mushroom. All right. So I'm gonna be using dimensional depots. This will be the first time I'm using it in this playthrough. But essentially it's going to set right on top of this. So this is a dimensional depot. Just like that. And we'll use the Mark IIIs. Just like that. And what it's going to do is it's going to send a bunch of that into the dimensional depot. As you can see here, that's what it does. Now, unfortunately, despite how fast I have that thing set up, it's moving very, very slow. And that's because we have to upgrade to speed up the delivery for that. But it basically means I can access the steel beams from anywhere. Even though I have the ones on me, I can also use them straight out of the dimensional depot, which is kind of cool. Alright, so now we can get rid of this. Now, as you can see, I can't really put any beams right here because of this big mushroom-looking thing. So we need to figure out where we're going to place all of these. Yeah, where we're going to place all these case industrial beams. Because right now I can make, how much is this? I can I didn't even set it up over here, did I? Concrete. So what I have to do here is set that for 90. That makes 30. So 30, 60, 90. So now we have 90. And we just need to figure out where these are going to go. So I only have so much space. Now I can move these up and free up a whole bunch of space back there. And I think that's probably what I'll have to do. Because my original idea was just not that well thought out. Yeah. Because I don't necessarily want to combine them, then uncombine them again. If that makes any sense at all. Alright. Just trying to think out loud here. So I think I'll move them up. I'm not going to like move them up really close. I'll probably just move them up to this square here. So like right there. And of course I did build that one the wrong way. It always likes to reverse the direction on me. Is where I wanted it, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright. So they're both coming in here. Now I could, if I turn them, so I still have, now I have plenty of room going this way. If I face them the same direction as them, then I guess I could oh. I don't know. Kind of having I'm trying to, because I want to try to do a 1-to-1 with these, so that way I don't have to combine them, then split them again, if that makes sense. Yeah, you know what? I think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn these the other direction. I'm going to have them face that way. And I think I'm going to do some creative logistics, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more. We're going to do some under and normal. So we're going to turn them this way. And go like that. All right. So we're going to do that there. I'm going to copy this. Paste. And paste. All right. So no sense in doing anything too crazy, right? We're just gonna send these underground. I think that's the right. Oh, that's not even lined up. Might help if I line it up, right? So now that one goes down, and here we can, I can do the same logistics here as well and have it go from underneath. Might be too far away. Let's see. I think that's too far away. I think that's it. Perfect. Okay. All right, so we got about 15 minutes to go. And, you know, whatever I don't finish, I'll finish later. And from that, I should be able to, these can go straight in. So let's do this. Create our assembly. And I want to line it up and determine how close I want to go here. Okay, because I have to be able to still put this stuff in a storage unit, so. Okay. All right. So those will get fed directly in. and these will be sent in from underneath. That, I don't think that lines up. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So here we can say right there. Whoa. All right. So these will run the regular ones, right? And these have to be overclocked too. What was this coming out to? 30. So whatever that equates to. Oh, actually, no, we weren't doing it like that. We were underclocking these. Isn't it like 5? Yeah, we're underclocking these to make 5 per minute. Which gives us 15 steel beams. Which I believe comes out even. Because that's exactly what we get out of here is 15. So, even Steven. Even Steven. All right. So we'll get the logistics set up in a moment. I'm going to put in one of the storage depots here. Probably go like that. Can I get a dimensional depot up there? Let's see. Can. Question is, will this thing let me pass it up? And it does. Nice. All right. So we need mergers now. So we have a merger. That. Like that. So this will come in here. And there. All right. I mean, we still got to put power in, but that's good. Now let's go down underneath now. And we need a Mark II miner. So I need more modular frames made, so okay. And I've got the miners, so okay. So we got to run a bunch of logistics under here. I'm going to have to cut some trees down, I think. We'll deal with that in a second. So, modular frames. What am I missing? I need more rods. Of course I need more rods. Oy. Okay. Well, the good news is there's a whole bunch whole bunch of iron in this, so just take that 100. And let's make a bunch of rods so we can make a bunch of modular frames. Not the way I want to do it, but it's the way we're going to do it. All right, there we go. So, yeah. That's what happens when I have too much of other things, not anticipating needing That many rods. Now, the whole time that we're doing this, I have parts being made for the phase 2. The trucks are not running because, you know, I don't produce fast enough for them to be able to take a full load every trip. And there's no way to stop them. So we're kind of stuck in that regard. Alright, there's a bunch of rods to see if there's enough to make the modular frames. I don't want us to sit here the whole time. Alright, so that should be enough to get what we need. Alright. So alright, so these are the ones that are going to be feeding over to there. So we'll deal with those in a minute. These are actually the ones that we need to feed in to make the concrete. So, how we're going to do this? I'm going to put a wall in right here. And we're going to feed off of that end. And these are going to come down like that. I think that might be how I'm going to do it. It actually would work better if it was coming off of that, but let me set this up first before I get too far out of the way here. Because I need those to feed in like that. And the reason I need those to feed in like that is because these are probably going to come down in order to get across, because they have to feed into those. So it's best I try to get this in here. So you know what? I actually don't need that. I know exactly how I want to do this. So we need... making sure arrows are going the right direction. Yeah. Nice symmetry. So with that, I'll just, on a smart splitter, just a regular one, come in like this. And now we'll just lower that down. These connect real easy to that. And that is how we'll do it. Bang! There we go. Very industrial-ish, right? I need to cut this thing out. Can't see very good. All right. So we have 3 of those, and we have 3 of those. So I'm gonna make sure I get to the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I need to see if this is gonna line up really well. It does. So hopefully this will be still good enough here. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. I am a little worried about that being in the way, but we'll see. It is not in the way. Perfect. Oops, sorry about that. My phone out of the way. And last one. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. All right, all of our logistics are now in place. So now all we gotta do is get power. And I'm gonna have to run a power pole. Probably right there for right now. I also need to run it over here as well. I could run it along the underneath side, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Got a couple minutes to go here. It's really the last little bit of thing I need to do is run power, so let's see. Let's go up top and see where the right place to put this thing. Probably going to be in between them, right? Because we have this like empty space in between. So why not? Oh, it won't. Oh, I'm missing rods. Of course, I'm missing rods. Of course, I'm missing rods. Let's try that again. So we could put it there. But you know what? I think I'm going to put it above. Or I could put it right there. Or actually, you know, one of the corner parts would probably be better. I guess it really doesn't matter. This needs to be in a good spot because we're probably going to put ceilings in here too. For the arc, probably this. Like that. We're going to put a roof a little bit higher, but like this. The reason I'm going to be putting this in is because that's where the... I'll just kind of do that so we can kind of see really. Because since I'm gonna be putting it like that, you know, we'll be able to put the power up there like there. So with that, I think we'll just put it right. It's kind of tough because that's in the way. We'll put it right, yeah, we'll put it right there. That'll be the easiest spot to be able to see. So if we look up there, we can kind of see it right there. So if we cross, that means we cross the thing. I don't want to do that necessarily. So let's just put it in there like that. There. Now I'll be able to power everything upstairs. And it'll all just work. But that's kind of where we're going to leave it. I'm going to be putting this across the entire top here. I'm going to finish and closing it all. But once we're done, we're going to have pretty much everything functioning over here. It'll be, you know, there won't be anything really left over. Now, what I might end up doing is putting, I might move this over here, put a smart splitter in or something like that for overflow, and maybe have this syncing, but maybe not. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that, whether you care whether a factory just always runs, in which case it syncs to this, to a, it goes into one of these awesome syncs when it's not saving, or not have, you know, just have it shut off until it's needed. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. But it would kind of require us to kind of move these over into a more central spot, and then basically once they're full, they go right into a sink, and then that's that. But that's going to do it for me. Appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out with me today as we kind of rebuild this factory. Again, we're going to be playing Farm Factory Simulator, I think is what it's called. A demo on Friday, and then we'll be right back here in Satisfactory on Monday, and I'll have all the components in for phase 2 by then, and we'll hit the we'll submit it, or I should say I will submit it on Monday on stream, and we'll be moving on to tiers 5 and 6. And these encased industrial beams is part of the unlocks, which is one of the reasons why I need to start making those. Also, it's the Mark IV. In order to do Mark IV logistics, we need those anyway. So they will be very useful in future factories. So with that, thank you all for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and save this under my steel rebuild. We're clocking in at 67 hours in the game so far. A lot of that is the phase 2 production as opposed to normal gameplay. So have a good evening, and we'll see you Friday.